This video is a response to a comment that was posted up on the YouTube channel wall by this guy named Max Power. And I don't know, I've been holding on to this for a couple of weeks because I was trying to decide what my approach was going to be and how in depth I was going to go. But I keep hearing where these young guys have, I don't know, I don't even know what to call it, but they get this anger, they get angry and want to strike out at women, and they're having like a lot of self-control issues when it comes to their belief that women don't like them or out and out reject them. And this is such a common thing, and it often, often as we find in the news media, ends in violence and people losing their lives and being, maimed and disfigured and all kinds of other things. So as I've given this some thought, I thought, okay, it's time for me to make some serious statements about this issue so that young men can understand what it is that they're supposed to be thinking. Because I'm not really sure what the adult males out there are telling these young boys. Because if you got grown men acting like this, are they really equipped? Do they even have the knowledge to share with the young guys? So as I go through this, you'll understand where I'm going with it. But let me start by reading what he typed. And it's posted under the video, Sad Invisible Men. Okay, so I'll put a link there so you can read that, listen to it rather if you haven't already. So he says, this is something that I can't work out. I've been called confident by lots of nice older ladies, some girls and guys too in my job. And although some of the older ones know I suffer social anxiety, some younger ones don't always know. I work in a fuel retail convenience store, and often I'll be waiting to serve on the grocery side. But most women and girls will walk to the fuel till. I know the fuel till is to pay for fuel, and it is closer. Is it my imagination, or is it more likely that they do not like me? Are they lazy and prefer a quicker route to paying? They don't like me, find me attractive, but are shy. Some intentionally queue at the fuel till even when they have more food and maybe no fuel at all to pay for. They have been into the store before and know they can pay for fuel on the grocery tills. Why do they ignore me? Sometimes I ask politely if they would like to pay around my side, but a lot of girls and women just ignore me as though I don't exist. I find the men and guys less ignorant and willing to pay for their goods from me. I'm tall, slim, dark hair, blue eyes, curly haired. I am always nice to the customers I serve, and I was once praised on social media by a lot of customers by how polite and kind I am. However, sometimes I feel rejected, and because of my anxiety or disorder, it can upset me by overthinking and worrying too much that women and girls don't like me. I was brought up well in a good family with good moral values. Please and thank yous. I might be nervous or a bit odd in my body language sometimes. However, sometimes I can't always deal with too many people around me, hence why I'm in this job, to try to overcome my social awkwardness. I'm on medication for anxiety, which helps to calm me down. Sometimes I can get angry if I feel rejected or feel people are giving me evil or negative looks, in which case I have to take a time out to calm myself down from being too tensed up. Okay, so that's what he wrote. And I'm going to go through this, but I have to say for one, in I don't know, just off the top of my head, that it just amazes me how many men expect complete strangers to bolster their ego and validate them. I mean, where they do that at? Why do you feel that that is even an even halfway sensible and sane expectation to have of a complete stranger whose path intersects with yours for between 10 and 60 seconds? Do you understand the insanity that we are dealing with here as women from you men? Y'all are out your rabbit ass minds. This makes no damn sense. So, young man, I am about to go through your comment and explain to you why you aren't getting, why this is happening. Okay, so you've been called confident. Okay. People used to feel like some of these people know used to have social anxiety, and the younger ones don't always know. I mean, okay, how would they know that? Are you telling these people your health business? Or do you expect that they would just magically know this by osmosis or through, psychic airwaves or some microwaves or something? I mean, how is it that you think these women would magically know that you suffer from a problem that you have to take pills for? How are they supposed to know that? So you charging people with a crime based on your assumption that they would magically know something about your health, mental health, that nobody except for maybe a trained professional would be able to identify. Okay, but I'll get back to that in a minute. So they go to the fuel till. Okay, is the fuel till closer to the door? That's where I always go. Whichever one's going to get me out that door the fastest. I'm not going to walk backwards into the store, deeper into the store, where that might be where you are. So you're not near the door. You're in the back. Okay, so that means I got to go from the front to the back and then back past the other line to go out the door. If you want people to come to your line, maybe you should work on the fuel till. But I have a feeling that you're on the other one in the back for a reason. Okay? Let's just get real for a minute. Then you say, why do they ignore me? I asked politely if they would like to pay around my side, but a lot of them, ignore you as if you don't exist. There's a reason for that, and I'll be going to that in a minute. You find the men, the men and guys, less ignorant. That's what you called it, less ignorant, and willing to pay for their goods from me. I'll tell you why that is too. And you worried that the women and girls don't like you, and you went all over the place with that, and back and forth about do they not like you, do not. Why would they like you? What is it gonna give them some money? Is it gonna help them get a job? Is it gonna help them have more money in their retirement? Is it gonna give them a new car? What is the reason why that you expect that these complete strangers would need to like you, so that you're gonna sit there at your job worrying about that? Do you know how crazy you sound? I know you taking some pills for your anxiety, but you need some couch time. And anybody who thinks like you needs some couch time. And I'm talking about with a shrink. Not with no, marriage and family counselor person. No, no, no. You need a qualified psychiatrist, a doctor. Okay, that's what you need. And you get angry if you feel rejected or feel people are giving you evil or negative looks. See, now we're into the delusional category. And you done charge all these women with all these crimes based on your imagination. And you get mad and worked up and all kind of stuff about it based on your imagination. Because ain't nobody said nothing to you. Nobody's hurt you. Nobody's giving you a dirty, a note, a paper airplane with something horrific on it. Spray painted your car, drew on your windows, keyed your car. Nothing. Nobody's done anything to you that you have any kind of evidence that they don't like you. You're a clerk in a damn store. Nobody's going to like you just on GP. You know who we like? Bartenders. We like our barbers. We like our hairdressers. Those are people that have like personal contact with us over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Sometimes we don't even like them, but they do a good job, so we keep going to them. Let me just be blunt. Because I've had some and I was like, This chick is crazy. But, your hair would be whipped. And so you would just suffer, take that L and go anyway. But, I don't understand where this is coming from. But let me go over this again. Let me go over some points here with you. The number one thing that men don't understand about women is that we read energy. We read energy very well. We get vibes from people. We get, like, we just pick up on stuff, okay? And sometimes guys, unaware of how they come across to women, but I'm going to explain it to you. You give off a super creepy vibe, okay? You ick women out. You make them feel weird and strange, and they don't want to be around you. They want to get away from you. And you're sitting there thinking, wow, I'm being a nice guy. I don't understand why she doesn't want to be around me. I'm, being polite. I'm doing this and that. Okay, you might be in your mind, but even that doesn't matter because that's what you're doing. That's what you're trying to project to her. But her inner knowing is picking up that there's something wrong with you and that being around you is a risk to her safety. Okay, now this is the thing that I think guys don't fucking get. Do you know why the Me Too movement happened? Do you know why we call the environment that we live in a rape culture? Do you understand what's going on around the world as far as women being abducted and killed and sex trafficked and enslaved all over the place? What's going on in India where men just feel like, they have the right to do what they want to do with any woman, and then if she fights back, then they want to kill her and her family. That just happened in a recent case. The guy got, prison for it, but he still did what he did and felt, that was okay to do, right? Otherwise he wouldn't have done it. So this is the kind of stuff, we have all these things going on college campuses right here in the United States. As of, earlier this year, I was reading some statistics that there's almost 100,000 black women and girls missing in the United States. I don't know where they are. Okay, so you put all that together and then you frost it with that comedian's joke. He was saying it, it's a sarcastic joke, but it's the reality for women. Where he said, men get in their feelings because their egos, they're afraid of being rejected. They're going to ask a woman out. Their biggest fear is being rejected. Okay. A woman's biggest fear is being murdered by a man. So in his mind, he was making light of it, but the reality is when a woman goes out with a guy that she doesn't really know yet, and even if you do know him, you don't really know him, but that's another story. She's basically taking her life in her hands. I mean, how many times have we read in the newspaper lately on Google and all that about women going on dates with dudes and then horrible things happen to them? Some of them never come back. Not alive anyway. And this is all over a date. When women get married, same thing happens. They have a boyfriend, they want to break up with him, same thing happens. So men are a risk. Men are the number one, more than cancer, car accidents, anything else, heart disease, all stuff. Before any of that, men are the number one cause for the deaths of women in this country. Okay. Probably worldwide, but I only, my research limited to this. You guys do that to us. Okay. So for you to get upset that a woman is, not really feeling you and she's just something that's making her kind of stand off from you and not be uber friendly to you, you ought to understand what that means. And I was reading this thing, this guy was saying, I think a lot of men don't understand, they don't get it. And so he, in his mind, he's like, okay, so you go and you ask, guys, when have you ever been sexually harassed or assaulted? Most are going to say never. Ask a woman that same question, any woman, and she's going to say, when, what do you mean? You mean like the first time? That's the difference in our reality of living as a woman. That's why this whole trans thing is a joke. They talking about, well, I feel like a woman. No, you don't, motherfucker. There's nothing about you that feels like a woman because you haven't suffered or have any of the fears and concerns that we have to deal with at the hands of men on a daily basis. And when do these things start? Usually around the age of 9, 10, 11 years old. So when a woman's talking about the first time she's been sexually harassed, it begins around that age, okay? In elementary school. That's our reality when we have to deal with men. Okay, so you, of course, are going to say, well, that's not all men, and that's true. Maybe true. This could just be that maybe some men are slicker and they don't get caught. Maybe some men do get it and they go out of their way to make sure that women around them are treated well and not talked too crazy. So I think the most important thing that men need to understand when they're dealing with women is the need that we have to feel safe. To feel safe. Now, a woman who doesn't feel safe is going to respond to you in many different ways. I think let me just check my notes, because see, I have to have an outline, because I get, I start talking and then I get myself all sidetracked. Excuse me. I think guys don't understand that if a woman is acting like she's not really attracted to you, it's because there's something about you. I mean, she won't even talk to you, because we can engage in conversation with somebody. We don't want it to go any further. It doesn't mean that we're gonna jump into bed with you or anything like that. But just a friendly, human to human contact kind of conversation. But if a woman won't even do that to you, it's because you give off a creepy vibe. You give off a creepy vibe, and she doesn't want to be bothered. Now, here are some of the things that men say and do that make women feel unsafe. Let's talk about that for a minute. When you fail to read or respect women's body language, we call these men thirsty, desperate. You're going to push up on a woman who's not showing you any kind of interest whatsoever. She's got headphones in her ears when she's walking down the street, or she's on the commuter train or the bus. That means she don't want to talk to nobody. She might already have a man. She might be listening to something that she's got to, taking a test for in the morning. She got to cram for it now. She might just be listening to music that she had a fucked up day, and she needs to, calm herself down before she picks her kids up from daycare. It's not their fault she had a crap day. So she's trying to get herself together before she gets home to her family. There's many, many reasons why a woman would not, want to engage with you and have her stuff on or be deep in thought and distracted, whatever. So here you come. Hey, Ma. Hey, good morning. Good. So she just looks at you, right? She just looks at you. That look that I just did, that means don't fucking talk to me. Leave me the fuck alone. That's what that look means. Okay, she's looking, her face is straight. Okay, she's not smiling at you. She's not looking at you. She's not trying to engage with you in any way, shape, or form. And if she gives you the side eye like that means leave me alone. Okay, but you just act like you don't see it because it doesn't fit your agenda. So here you go. Well, you need to smile. Smile, sister, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, who are you to try to tell a complete stranger what to do with her face? That's her face. If she wants to pull her lips apart and go, yeah, that's her business. Okay? She don't need to smile at you. You ain't paying her to smile. Okay? Now you pull out $10,000 and say, I'll give you $10,000 in cash to smile. Oh, you might get a smile. But that ain't what you do. You just want to run around talking to random women and commanding them to smile. For they're here like court justice for your fucking entertainment. You tripping. Okay, some of you will, when women do like this, like you're talking, right? And she's like this with her arms crossed across her chest. That is a defensive posture. That means don't come any closer. Stop talking to me. Back up. Leave me alone. That's what that means. If you're talking and she turns away, she turns. Okay, she turns away her body. That means she's done with you talking to her. Leave her alone at that point. Just stop talking. Okay, because she's not trying to hear you. There's many more. I'm just doing this off the top of my head, thinking about some situations I saw recently where that's what the women did, and the guys were just like, just kept talking anyway. Another thing that you guys do that make women feel unsafe is you make stupid, sexually oriented comments, in your window. What are you, 5? You do sliding into people's DMs. Your ass is 40 years old and you hollering at some 19 or 20 something year old girl trying to get at her on social media, you trifling piece of shit. What is wrong with you? Even that you do that crazy stuff on the street. Girls young enough to be your daughters and stuff. And you up there trying to holler at them. Of course she doesn't feel safe. You like her daddy's age. She don't want to know what to do with you. Oh, that gray-headed old fool. Shut up somewhere. Get in your car and go about your business. Go somewhere and make some damn money. Do something sensible with yourself. So you are, ooh, I sure would like to get some of that. Ooh, you fine, you this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Woman just trying to walk down the street minding her business, and here you go. And then you wonder why nobody want to talk to you. What would make someone feel safe and want to, engage with you in a situation like that? Or you roll up on somebody, it's 3 or 4 of you in a car, slowly following a woman down the street. You don't think that feels threatening? You know it does. That's why you're doing it, because you want to scare her. You also are in the trifling piece of shit category. Some of you will make, at these crude jokes, or you put pictures up on your social media, or you send them to people, or they used to do stuff at work until the laws changed and, made people start getting, they changed the sexual harassment laws to include visuals and auditory things, and even something as what some might say as innocuous as them blocking you. So you can't go as where you to and from where you want to go because he done put his arm up on the door or he's leaning against. So he's blocking you from leaving the room. That's or leaving the area. Okay, that's also called sexual harassment. Some of you want to touch people. You want to put your hands on people. You want to hug on people, and you want to kiss people who have not invited you into their space in that way. Keep your hands to yourself. You learned that in kindergarten. Why? Did you forget? You think it doesn't apply now that you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s? You keep your hands to yourself until a woman invites you into her space, invites you to touch her, invites you to be this close to her. Keep your distance, your physical, mental, and verbal distance from any woman that is not somebody that you're dealing with. A personal friend, family member, something like that. And even then, you should still give them a healthy respect of space because for whatever reason, you just don't know. Just tell a woman, invite you into her space, stay your ass on the other side. Good 3-5 feet is the best thing to do. Outside of arm's reach, you want her to feel like she has the space to back up and you can't, put your hands on her. You'd be forcing your way into people's space like that, and that's very uncomfortable. Okay. Some of you will ask some very intrusive questions. You ask things, her personal life. You ask about her sexual preferences. You ask stuff about her height. You ask about her weight. You ask about her relationship status. You ask stuff that you don't even know this woman's name yet, and yet you want to be all up under her clothes, all up in her bed, all up in her life. Just asking questions. You ain't taking her on no kind of date, nothing. You just want to just spit some game and find out where you can get it in. Don't you think that might make a woman leery of you, not trust you, and think that you ain't shit? You just really don't get that. I'm saying these are all things, even just standing there leering at someone, you don't even have to say a word, but the way you present yourself as a man is as a predator. Okay, your energy is way, way, way off, way toxic, way scary. And no woman wants to be bothered with you. So you get rejected. Some of you have this look, you're so hungry for female attention that a woman, I mean, she might, even start talking to you. But the way you look at her, like you're taking her clothes off with your eyes, it gives us the creeps. Okay, you come across as some kind of weirdo. So she freezes up. She don't want nothing else to do with you. She might have one conversation with you and you pull one of these jokey comment innuendo stunts on it during the conversation, and then she's done with you. It's a wrap. No matter how much interested she may have been with you, in you before that, you fucked it up by not being able to act like a mature adult. You just have to just say something inappropriate. Okay, this happens all the time. You want people's, too much information on them. Like a lot of you want, well, where you live, where you work at, how much money do you make, what kind of car you drive, you live with somebody, all this kind of stuff. Why is that your business? That's not your concern, sir. And when you do that, walls go up. If she wanted you to know all that information about her, she would tell you voluntarily. You wouldn't have to ask. It would just, come out because now she trusts you. Okay? You've made her feel safe to tell you this stuff. And that's the main thing that you guys don't do. You don't make a woman feel safe. You make us feel nervous, on guard, and like we need to protect ourselves. Like we need to feel like if we're in a situation with you and we're vulnerable, that we won't end up on the news, missing or worse. Okay, and y'all don't get that. And I think this comes down to this. This is what I want to leave you guys with. You need to be mindful of how you come across. Think before you act. Think before you open your big mouth. How are you presenting yourself to this woman? Are you coming across as a predatory wolf? Are you coming across as someone that, that is safe for her to talk to, safe for her to be around, safe for her to be vulnerable with? Because a woman's safety, a woman's consent, and I'm not even just consent, what I call enthusiastic consent. Because consent can be coerced, where she feels like if I don't do it, then something bad is going to happen. That's called coercion. That's not consent. Consent is where she is all over you. She's all over you, and she just bam. Okay, that's what you want. That's consent. You got to, well, come on, baby, please, baby, please, please. Okay, that's coercion. And no man who's worth his salt should be presenting himself in a way where he has to pressure a woman into wanting to be with him. That's thirst, desperation, and it could be a case. So you need to watch that. That's where just being mindful comes in. So use her safety, her security, and enthusiastic consent. Every time you interact with a woman, you need to have those three principles in the forefront of your rabbit ass minds. Y'all men are a trip. You don't think about nothing but yourself. Okay, and then my last point here. My last point is that you need to make sure that she knows that you respect her. You respect, and this doesn't even, you could even be in a relationship with this woman for years, married to her for years, all this stuff. Kids, I mean, the gray hair, been together for high school, whatever's the thing. Your method of interacting with any woman must be that you demonstrate to her that you respect her body, you respect her emotions, and you respect her choices. And her choice may change, that she might want to do it today and not tomorrow. Okay, she might be happy in the morning and think you suck ass in the evening. I mean, there's all kind of ways that women, but as a dude, you're not going to argue with her. Okay, you're going to be like, do you? Let me know when the coast is clear. Okay, that's what my husband used to say, when the coast is clear. And then, I mean, he made it into a joke, he poor thing. But that really worked for us because it showed me all these things that I'm telling you. No coercion. He never even raised his voice at me ever. Not one time in all the years that we were together. But, that knowing that was his approach to dealing with me, I always felt safe with him. From the first day that we met, it was always about what do you need me to do or not do so that you feel comfortable. And that was always his motto. So you, young man, you're trying to figure out why women don't want to come to your till and all this kind of stuff. And I'm telling you that the main reason is because there's something about you that makes these women leery, um, nervous, skittish, frightened, on puts them on edge. There's something that you, some energy you're giving off. And I'm thinking, because of the fact that you want to tell the women, talk about the guys that come to your line are not ignorant. Isn't that what you said? Let me. I'm looking at the printout I have of your slide here. Uh, okay, you're taking medication for anxiety. Yes, the guys are less ignorant. Okay, so if that's how you thinking about a woman making a choice just to check out in another line, don't you think that you might be projecting some anger into some angry vibes that would make a woman be like, ooh, I'm not trying to be over there with him. What's wrong with him today? They're going to go to the line where it feels safe to do so. So I think, it's good that you're on medication. I'm hoping that you're getting some counseling. And I want you to take what I'm saying here and think really hard about what your mental state is when you're at work and these women are going to the other line, because whatever you're thinking is going to be projected in your face and your body language. Okay, and women, being the very, very spiritual creatures that we are, pick up on everything. And that is why they don't come in your line. Now, I admit some women have that, that sixth sense, and they deny it. They second guess themselves. Oh, I shouldn't think that. That's not nice, they say. I shouldn't be that way, this and that. So they talk themselves out of protecting themselves. And ladies, I caution you to please don't do that. If you're feeling something, pay attention, tune in, pay attention to it. It's there to protect you. And for the guys who think that this kind of attitude that he has is normal and that it's okay to feel like that about women and to do the things that I said that you should not do, you really need to think about it, because especially if you're in a situation where you're trying to date and you're not getting the desired result from women, your relationships always fail, nothing's really jumping off the way that you wanted to. You get ghosted by women, stuff like that, then there has to be a reason. And the reason, if she was interested in you at first and then she's not, there's something you did or something that you said, some attitude that you projected that turned her off and made her feel unsafe. Okay? And I'm not talking about where you defending her with a gun and all this stuff. I'm talking about emotionally, psychologically, and physically unsafe. There's something about you that's scary to her and very high risk. So I hope this is very helpful to you. Ladies, you guys got some comments and something you want to add to this, feel free to put it down below. Guys, you have questions, you can also post those there. I'll try to come back and respond to them. I don't usually respond to questions on the wall, but I'll make an exception since this is kind of a hot topic. But I hope this is helpful for everybody. This is Deb Cooper. SurvivingDating.com is the website. I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.